Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Bible alongside Richard Mulrooney. And Coach, unfortunately, took a loss to UConn. You knew this team would be tough.
We knew it was a tough game. Obviously, UConn's a very organized team. They're well coached. I mean, they won national championships for a reason. But having said that, we were confident going into the game. And, the start of the game and even through the first half, I wouldn't change anything about it. I thought we competed. I thought UConn obviously had a good game plan of sort of sitting back and absorbing, knowing that, maybe they can catch us on a counter, maybe they can catch us on a mistake. But, through the first half, we're very comfortable with it. A couple changes at halftime, but, we stuck to our game plan. And then, unfortunately, a couple minutes into the second half, we just made a mistake. They got up, and that just changes the dynamics of the game. Now we've got to go try to find that tying goal, and they can sit it even more. And they're a team that, if they've got a counter, they can do it. They're very athletic, they have a goal scorer up top. And obviously, as the game went on, we tried to press. A couple injuries came up that maybe changed it up a bit, but that's opportunities for other guys to go. But unfortunately, we weren't able to see, get that tying goal, and they were able to get that second goal when we were trying to press in the last few minutes to make it 2-0 and pretty much game over by that point.
A win and a loss in the league, and interesting looking at the standings the other day. If I'm correct, one team has a point lead in first place, and there's a whole bunch of teams of 3 points in the standings. It's bunched up as we expect it to be the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, the parity's there. You have teams going on the road winning games that you wouldn't necessarily say they should have won on paper, but that's why you play your conference games, and I think that's just how it's going to be the rest of the year. And hopefully, we're not on the end of losing more than winning, but at the same time, going up to Temple this weekend's a tough game. I mean, they've got a good result versus UCF, and then, they dropped one versus, I think, Cincinnati, if I believe. So there's no gimmies, and I don't think any conference would say there is, but especially ours. It's just it's a fight-out drag every weekend, and, you hope you're obviously more on top than not.
It is a fortunate time to go to Temple when you've got to go on the road, because when you go to the Northeast, it's really dependent on what time of year you go. So early October sure is a lot better than trying to go up into the Northeast maybe in one of those November matches as far as the weather goes.
Absolutely. I've seen enough highlights of the Eagles game where they're throwing snowballs at the Santa Claus. So, I don't expect that type of weather by any means. But, again, getting up there, they've got a nice little facility now downtown. Usually a little breezy, but having said that, you're right. Instead of playing in 20 degrees, I'm expecting it to be no lower than 60. Beautiful night. I don't know if it's supposed to rain, but again, Temple's a team that has given us trouble in the past, and we're preparing for it accordingly.
You're going to stay on the road. You're going to have a midweek match out of conference next week. On Tuesday, you're going to head over to Conway to play UCA.
Yeah, that's a relationship that we've built with Ross and his program. It's a good one. They made the NCAA tournament last year. They won the MVC, and then this year, I think they're starting to find their groove. They have an All-American forward that you have to keep an eye on, but at the same time, just a high work rate, blue-collar team that, they got us last year. We played them in the spring. They got us last spring. So this is a game that, again, we'll focus on after conference, but it's one that, in the back of our minds as coaches that we've got to be prepared for, or it could be a long weekend if we don't get a result in Temple as well.
All right, Coach, sounds good. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Appreciate it.
That is Richard Mulrooney. I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.